Hi guys, just had to re-record this video for the British Bill of Rights as according to YouTube my last one was too long. So what is my blog about on the British Bill of Rights? Basically it's me looking at why does Britain need a Bill of Rights. Britain basically is a constitutional monarchy in which we have a queen or a king and a constitution. Now, obviously, you all know who the Queen is. We just had the Queen's Jubilee. Now, the Constitution is a little bit more complicated. It's a group of documents which include things like the Magna Carta and the British Bill of Rights, which until recently I didn't know existed. Which shows, exactly how well known that is in the United Kingdom. That was an act passed in 1689, I believe. Yep, 1689. So, the problem is that I have with the British Bill of Rights is that the one that we have is well out of date. I mean, ridiculously out of date. 1689, they didn't know about things like internet and a bit of things, privacy, that kind of thing. There are just there's just far too many things within that Bill of Rights which just don't cover us today. Now, what I am basically saying is that we do need a Bill of Rights. We need something cast iron, something written in stone, something that can only be changed through things like a referendum and a yes vote of like 70% plus. Because as far as I'm concerned, politicians cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted to do what's right in the interests of the nation. So what we need, basically, as far as I'm concerned, is a ironclad written guarantee of things like the rights of the individual. Now, when I say individual, I don't mean a person, I don't mean a human being. I mean individual. I mean me. I mean you. Under legal terms, person also includes a company, a corporation, a city. How can they be referred to as persons? The fact that they are referred to as persons in legal definition basically means that companies, corporations, have the same right as you as an individual. That's absolutely absurd. And it needs to change. Britain has a long, proud history of, for example, the majority of the world's legal systems are based on the British legal system, the Magna Carta, things like that. Now, interestingly about the Magna Carta is a form of contract, basically. Now, according to history, King John was forced at knife point to sign the Magna Carta, which guaranteed the rights and liberties of the free people of England. Now, think about that. It's a contract, and it was signed under duress. Now, if you look at contract law, which, although I have been told quite reliably, that any contract signed under duress is null and void. So there you go. So the Magna Carta could quite possibly be null and void. So, again, if we have a Bill of Rights based on that, we still need to change it. Definitely people who are more into legal systems than I am should definitely be looking into that, because that's a dodgy one. Right. We do need a legal system. We do need a Bill of Rights. And, there is nothing really in English law that defends you as a person, and that needs to change. I would like to see that changed. I would like to see, like rights brought in a Bill of Rights that protect you, protect me, protect my children, and protect the family unit. Which does seem to be quite often under attack. What I would like to see things like, for example, look at Tony Blair. Tony Blair, he took us to war with 1 million people on the streets in protest. Now, if you had a Bill of Rights, which people have the right to choose their own destiny, and he'd put in a vote to the people of Britain whether to go into war with Iraq or not, he would have almost certainly lost that vote. You know, without a doubt. That's my belief. I think he would have lost that vote. You know, because the people knew that war was illegal, and the people knew that Tony Blair was leading us down to a very expensive dark hole. Well, them sorts of things wouldn't be able to happen if we had, you know, a Bill of Rights which guaranteed the voice of the people on the public stage. You know, the electorate are currently very, very disillusioned with the political system, and quite rightly so. You know, if 1 million people can go out onto the streets and be ignored, you know, then, you know, the average Joe being concerned about, for example, his tax rate is just, well, it's totally blanked. And that's another thing, you know, I'd like to see in the bill, would be things like for example, a cap on taxation. What do I mean by that? Well, currently, pay about 30% minimum deductions before I even get my wage packet. You know, and that is just disgraceful. It's disgusting. You know, if the government can't run their government without taxing their populace into serfdom and poverty, which is what they are doing, by the way, Mr. Cameron, you multi-millionaire, that's right. You know, if they're unable to do that, then they must cut the government. They must cut the science bits. So, you know, get rid of some of these ridiculous quongos that we currently have, costing us millions of pounds every year. So that's my view on the political, on the view, you know, of the Bill of Rights. There is a lot more information in my blog about this, so please feel free to read on. There are some links, you know, to legislation.gov.uk, so you can confirm the British Bill of Rights if you doubt me, which is entirely up to you. But I must be cutting this video a bit short because I think the time limit on these is about 10 minutes, and well, I've already been talking for 8. So keep it real, guys, and yeah, you know, don't just believe what I say. You know, go out there, look at various websites, read around. If something interests you, you know, look into it. You know, like the Bill of Rights. I didn't even know it existed until I researched this blog. Alright? So, as I said, once again, look after yourselves, keep it real,